Kai, thanks for joining me today. Want to
Of
tell
course,
them a
yeah.
little bit about
Weird.
who you are, where you're from, what you
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So I'm from Northwest Indiana. Spent the last 8 or 9 months traveling around Europe, Asia, a little bit of Africa. I run an e-commerce SEO agency for Shopify brands. And I met Trino probably like end of 2022, early 2023, I think. We've been talking quite a bit ever since. So
Yeah. So, um, I guess what were some things you ran into as on your SEO entrepreneur digital nomad journey before we started talking? Um, that you're kind of struggling with, or that I was useful in talking to me, I guess. And then how, as a result of, you know, these conversations with me or talking through parts of your journey as an entrepreneur were helpful afterwards.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, so I started my while abroad. I was actually in the Canary Islands at the time. Ended up doing solo for like 8 months after that, solo travel, while also trying to build a company. Both of those are really exciting and also very lonely journeys at times. So definitely, like when one goes south, the other you pray does not go south, but oftentimes they seem to kind of follow the same path. I met Trina probably about 4 or 5 months after I started both, and honestly, was like looking for direction on some things. I was like, pivoting in my agency and like, where should I go next? What should I do next? Also trying to reckon with, some internal things I was feeling about travel, some other things going on in my life. And really like what helped me with the most from Trina is just like, it was nice to talk to someone not immediately in my circle, like, friends, partner, parents, whatever, business partners, anything like that. I mean, really just get like some purely objective, but also like very sympathetic views on things that I was feeling, thinking, maybe gonna act on. Um, and ultimately, like, I was able to pull myself out of like kind of both ruts. Agency's taken off tremendously. It's tripled since the first, like probably the pivoting conversation we've had. I'm actually back home now in the States. So those travel issues aren't, like, I'm not plagued by those issues anymore. But like total clarity about, where the next few months and years of my life are heading. We've got some big things coming, and Trina's been pretty instrumental in helping me like clarify, see, and then, go act on those things. So looking forward to the next few months, see what they hold for me.
I'm so excited for you, Kai. Thanks for hopping on to talk
Thanks.
a little bit about your experience with me. Anything else you would mention in terms of why it's helpful to have that kind of one directional space in a digital
Yeah.
entrepreneur's
I
life?
mean, yeah. So like, I think my initial growth is not really like came through like money Twitter and like that kind of whole space.
Mhm.
But ultimately, as good as it is, it's just a gigantic echo chamber, right? And then you talk to people like, your friends, parents, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case may be, right? And they don't have their finger on the pulse. Like it's like going from, black and white, right? And I think super important to have something like that to kind of like blend the gray, right? Like, yes, we're all trying to grow companies, things like this, but ultimately it's not only about your company. Like you still have to be a human and have a life. And it's good to kind of find someone, I guess, in the middle ground, to really, strike a balance between both of those things. So super helpful. Honestly, like I've always been pretty apprehensive about relationships like this, but
Yeah.
kind of
That's another
stumbled
question I had
into
is
it. It kind of,
what would you be skeptical about in deciding to
yeah,
talk to
no, I
somebody
mean,
like
like
me?
yeah, honestly, like I would say I kind of like stumbled into this relationship. Like did not go seek it out and like had people like approach me for it before. And I was just like, no, I don't need it. I don't want it. And then I had it and I was like, oh, wow, like maybe I did need it and I just didn't even know it. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my experience and obviously it's a good one. So
I'm stoked for you, Guy. Thank you for the very candid report of this.
yeah, of course, yeah, thanks, man.
Much love. We'll talk soon.
All right, later.